we're just going to get sick. And he didn't want that to happen. And as a Hindu, he already believed, I'm coming back to do it again. And I don't want to keep doing this again and again and again. So, really, Buddha was a Hindu first. And his Hinduism is what gave him that knowledge of reincarnation and coming back and, the cycle of death and birth.
Well, supposedly...
And being spoiled in the life that he was in. He decided he was going to find a way out or find the Supreme, and the Supreme was within inside himself.
Well,
as it is in you and me and everyone is connected from one single source.
That is the story of the Buddha. He was a prince. He went into a meditative state under the tree, and he meditated for days. And when he awoke in an enlightened state. And that's when he started teaching and espousing this philosophy that people began to follow.
How was it while he was under that tree and he was meditating and not eating, he didn't lose any weight?
He was a kid then.
Oh.
He put on his weight later on as an adult, as most of us do.
My guru, when I'll say Swamiji, when I say Swamiji, I mean Paramahamsa, Nityananda. And when he was, I think, 10, is when he went off and, off on his own. Imagine a 10-year-old going off on their own. And Appalachian Mountains, and lived with amazing sages and saints, and his own gurus were, I don't know all of their, stories, but I do know that he started at 10 and then for many years learned, and then once he was enlightened, he then taught as well. And that's what he's doing. He's teaching the world.
Well, think of the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama is chosen as a young child. The previous Dalai Lama chooses, in effect, the next Dalai Lama by sitting and talking with young people, and he eventually crowns the next Dalai Lama. And from the time that today's Dalai Lama was chosen, he lived almost like the Buddha. He would read, and he would gain knowledge, and he would think, and he would speak. And this is what he did.
I keep cutting off, so I'm going to listen to your show, and
cell phone?
Hopefully somebody else will call in.
Well, you could just hang up.
She doesn't hear us.
Listen to me.
Yeah, I can't really hear you. I just heard you say...
listen, hang up.
It's the phone.
Hang up and call back, that's all.
You may just have a bad connection.
Well, I'll try to... I think it's this phone. It's the office phone. So it's on the kick here. Anyway, I'll try to call back on my cell phone.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
Okay, Maggie, thank you. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Maggie did say, her story about the Buddha was true. He was a prince who never wanted for anything. And he was afraid of death and sickness and all the travails of life. He went off and he meditated, went into this meditative state, and when he awoke, he was the Buddha. He was the enlightened one. And as I said, it's almost like the story of the Dalai Lama. The old Dalai Lama, when this Dalai Lama is near death, he will choose his successor by interviewing young children, okay, and at a young age, that young child will be trained to take over.
Now, Mark, from what I understand, you've got some quotes from
No, I don't.
Budda.
No, I don't.
Oh, yes, you do. You got, yeah. Oh, I have them if you don't.
Well, they sort of cut off because, you can't read them. All that we are is a result of what we have, blank everything, in what we think we become. I mean, I can't read this stuff because it's incomplete.
They're all very short, just so you know. 1 or 2 sentences.
Well, if you think you can make heads or tails out of this, you are more than welcome.
Okay, let me see it. Did you maybe mix up some pages?
No, not at all. Here you go.
Okay. Well, first thing, we have 21 pages, and this is only 6. So we are missing some pages.
You wanted quotes. These are the top 10 quotes.
Yeah, no, but that's 20. No. All that we are is a result that we have. What we think. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The typing came a little screwy. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's not a problem. Let's go and...
I wish you'd believe me.
No, because at work I printed it up for us, and it wasn't a problem. It's not that I didn't believe you. I want to see, because you said printed large. Maybe that's why. That's the problem. So we're going to go ahead and really, very quickly bring him up a little bit and see what we got here. All right. We're going to go ahead and... No, we're not. I'm not going to do anything the way we're going. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, Mark. Keep it going for a second because I can't type and talk at the same time. As you know, I can't chew and talk at the time. Mark?
What?
I told you, I can't type and chew.
So what do you want me to do?
Say something. Talk. Sing a song.
Well, I was talking to my friend whose son in Massachusetts follows the Budda and lives in a community. And my friend gave me some hints. It's Buddhism teaches you self-awareness.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people tend to find that they are in denial about something. Okay, and that's what prevents them from reaching a state of happiness.
Okay.
What?
One thing about his Buddha's... I thought you're done with that part.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
One of the things about the Buddhist, he has a lot of quotes, and they're very short, but there's a lot of meaning in them. Is one, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. And basically what they're saying is you become what you think about, or in other words, what you focus on grows in your life, and from what you take your focus away from diminishes. What do you think of that?
Whatever it says.
Whatever it says. Another one is, all wrongdoing arises because of mind. If mind is transformed, can wrongdoing remain?
Well, I think you missed something here because there's a lot of controversy. They talk about the philosophy of the book, The Secret, because in the book, The Secret, that's what they tell you. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think something often enough, that's what you become.
Okay, here's a good one. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of a candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared.
Well, that's also obvious. You share your happiness with somebody, and they then become happy.
Well,
they become happy for you.
As I said, most of his philosophy is his quotes are very simple like that. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment.
Well, they always tell you to live in the present. The problem is if you live in the past, you're ruining your present and you're diminishing your future. The future is unknown. And the past you can't do anything about. It has already happened. You can change the outcome by changing your outlook.
Here's another one. How many holy words you read, however many you think, what good will they do if you did not act upon them? Action is what counts. That's what he's saying.
Well, action speaks louder than words.
Yeah, so as you can see, his philosophy is very simple, straightforward.
A Jewish expression, a tongue has no bones, doesn't mean anything. You could say whatever you like.
Yeah. Even death is not feared by one who has lived wisely.
Well, if you've lived a good life, you have no reason to fear death because you've left your legacy, how people will remember you.
Okay, let's go to another one. Peace comes from within. Do not speak it without. Look within yourself to find the inspiration and power to act from this place. Don't look outside the world for liberation or happiness, but take the responsibility upon yourself and become that what you are seeking. Okay. In the sky, there is no distinction of east and west. People create distinctions out of their own minds and then believe them to be true. Okay, any comments on that?
Well, you talk yourself into what you believe. That's what he's saying.
Any perspective we have on anything is only a relative truth. There are always both or more sides to any story. We always say that. A lot of the philosophy we know. Wouldn't you say you've heard a lot of this philosophy? Maybe not in the particular words, but
none of this is anything new.
Yeah. If we could see the miracle of a single flower clearly, our whole life would change. And now I'm going to read this from what the author of this wrote. The quote is perhaps the most difficult one to really understand. In the first place, it is not about the beautiful nature of the flower or beauty itself. What Buddha is talking about, in his humble opinion, is to see and get in touch with the life in the flower directly, without any interference of mind by mental concepts and thoughts of the flower. Now this is when stuff becomes a little too heavy.
So what does that
me.
mean?
That's what I said. Exhibit totally, I don't know. As I said, this gets a little too heavy for me sometimes. The only real failure in life is not to be the best one knows. Sure. The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows. You know, you say,
Well, I used to tell my students the only failure in life is never to have tried at all.
yeah, so that's just a few of his of his quotes. Very short, but I believe they're very deep, and there's a lot of thought. They're very thought-provoking, but again, there's nothing new about them. And then, the Dalai Lama also has some quotes, and I'll read a couple of his. In our struggle for freedom, truth is the only weapon we possess. What do you think?
I didn't hear you. I'm reading.
What is this, a one-man show?
Yeah, me.
Yeah. In our struggle for freedom, truth is the only weapon we possess.
Well, because only truth is worth anything.
Only by being true to yourself you can make
the
progress
expression
in being
the
free.
truth shall set you free.
Yeah. Truth is the ultimate fire that burns down everything that is false and opens the way toward happy states. My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness. This is we're reading that from the Dalai Lama.
Well, you give what you get.
Our prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them.
Well, the first thing you learn when you take the Hippocratic Oath as a doctor is to do no harm.
Okay, let's go to another one. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive.
Well, because material things come and go, and they can always be replaced. But love, compassion, goodness, those are the important things of life.
With realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's ability, one can build a better world. And basically, what they're saying, only if you have truly worked on yourself and got the best out of yourself, you will not only be much more happier and realize your human potential. This will also give you a strong self-confidence. I keep pressing the wrong stuff, you know that, right? Happiness is not something really ready-made. I'm sorry. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions.
Well, that's the Buddha saying that everything comes from within.
Well, this is from the Dalai Lama, though.
I know that.
Okay. When you think everything is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. When you realize that everything springs only from yourself, you will learn both peace and joy.
Well, we should all think about that. How many times do you put the blame on somebody else? Well, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. He did this or she did that. But the bottom line is, if we accept our own shortcomings and say that we might have contributed to a certain percent of what happened, then you learn peace and joy. It's almost like being an insurance company. You're responsible for 40% of the accident, and I'm responsible for 60% of the accident.
Okay. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. You will not be able to love others. If you have no compassion for yourself, then you are not able of developing compassion for others. Change comes from the inside of yourself. In order to love someone, I guess you have to first love yourself. 9. Truth, violence, you may solve one problem, but you sow the seeds for another. Or through violence, you may solve one problem, but you sow the seeds for another.
Well, that's similar to Confucius saying, when you seek revenge, better to dig 2 graves.
When ignorance is our master, there is no possibility of real peace.
Because with ignorance, there's no room for reason.
Yeah. So that was a little bit about the Dalai Lama, some of his stuff. And you mentioned Confucius, so we'll read a couple of quotes from Confucius also. What do you think?
Why not?
Confucius say, don't eat Chinese food.
Confucius say, tight underwear, like small hotel. Leave no...
Leaves no what?
Leave no ballroom.
Okay, let's go. Never impose on others what you would not choose for yourself. It's the golden rule and the essence of real compassion.
The next one is real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. How many times, now think about this, because this happens every day in your life. How many times does somebody ask you for directions and you don't really know, and you're afraid to say that you don't know, so you tell them to go this way or that way, when really the smartest thing to do would be to keep your mouth shut and say, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand.
Well, that's like if you teach somebody how to fish, he'll never be hungry a day in his life. Don't give the answers, and don't just show people, but explain to them and show them how to do it so that they can do it themselves.
Very good, Mark.
That's why they call me the doc.
Oh, the doc, yeah. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And you know, there is beauty in everything. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. How many times are you walking and you see a vivacious, good-looking woman and she turns your head? But now, obviously, this is men, you know. And if a guy sees, well, you know, an ordinary woman, you know, like most women look, and you don't turn your head, you know, I mean, who's to say that that person is not the most interesting person you're ever going to meet? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, you see someone and you say, how did that person ever wind up with this person? Well, the bottom line is because they look beneath the exterior into the soul.
The superior man is aware of righteousness. The inferior man is aware of advantage.
Once again, folks, our number is 646-595-3275. So why don't you give us a call? We have been on the air for just about 55 minutes now. time is running out. We urge you to call in or type in and let us know what you're thinking. If you have a question, please be sure to ask. Maybe Maggie will call back, maybe not.
Okay, here's another one. Let's just finish up a few more. Wheresoever you go, go with all your heart.
Well, if you want to succeed in life, you should approach every problem with 100%. If you're only going to give 50%, don't expect more than 50% back.
That's it. Give 100%. You're right, Mr. Mark. Dr.
Mark to you.
Doctor, actually. The doc tonight. You're the doc. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in getting up every time we do.
That's the true test for a person. How many times can you get up and keep trying?
Cat has 9 lives, you know?
Yeah, but he doesn't count usually.
Yeah, that's true. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. What do you think, Mark?
Don't act out of haste. Basically, think the problem through. Come to a logical conclusion. Don't act before you think. Just like don't open your mouth and say something before you learn the facts.
Okay.
You know, that's the one thing that's one of the things you can't take back. Once you say something, you can't take the words back.
You mean I'm sorry doesn't work?
What?
I said I'm sorry doesn't work.
Not every time.
Yeah. He that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools.
And what tools do you think they're talking about?
The mind.
Exactly.
It's important.
Get the knowledge first.
If you look into your own heart and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? If you're happy within your own heart, you got no problems.
Whistle while you work.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. So we heard from a little bit from Confucius. We heard a little bit from Dalai Lama.
I think we'll go back to some one-liners. What do you think? You know, we've been going through some heavy stuff. How
Yeah.
about some BS? Well, you know, in looking for these many jobs I was telling you about when we opened up, I tried to be a chef. I figured it would add spice to my life. But I just didn't have the time. THYME. I mean, I attempted even to be a deli worker. But any way you sliced it, I couldn't cut the mustard. The best job I had, however, was as a musician. But eventually I found I wasn't noteworthy. I work real hard on these, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly hope somebody's laughing out there.
Yeah, baby.
All right, Austin Powers, leave it to him.
And we know how much you love that guy.
I studied a long time to become a doctor, ladies and gentlemen, but I just didn't have any patience. Well, the next job I tried, my uncle took me to a shoe factory, but I just didn't quite fit in.
anymore?
Then I became a professional fisherman. But I discovered that I couldn't live on my net income. And I never knew he had a chat room on Spreaker.
Neither did I. I mean, I knew it was there. I just didn't know how to access it.
So Maggie was the first person to activate.
No, I'm sure other people did. We just never knew they were chatting with us.
So who was asking the questions?
The first one was this guy DJ something.
Oh.
But we got disconnected with the show. So
probably thought we were ignoring him.
No, well, no. We answered him. And we spoke. We read his comments, but then unfortunately. The program, or I should say the computer, crashed in the middle of the show on Spreaker. But we will rebroadcast the whole show on Spreaker. We will download it and redo it.
All right. Most definitely.
So for those who missed part of it, you can actually hear it, the whole show. Okay. Anybody else? Any thoughts? Any ideas? Maggie, you out there?
No, I think Maggie is not calling back.
No, I don't think so. I think she's actually listening probably to her mentor.
Well,
I just want to do one other thing, if you folks don't mind.
You're not playing a song, are you?
No,
but
I should.
Why? Do you have something in the Buddhist repertoire?
Well, I can do a Buddhist chant.
Hamana, hamana, hamana.
Basically. Did you ever hear a Buddhist chant?
I must have somewhere along the line.
Yeah, Buddhist.
Well, while you're doing that, I think I'll put up another cup of coffee. What do you say?
We can do that, but I don't think we're going to last that long, are we? What do you think? You think we're going to last that long?
I don't know. Oh, find a chant that lasts 5 minutes. That's oh, you still have half a cup.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it will record because it has to play directly on the show, so that's really not going to help us much. So instead of doing a Buddhist chant, what I'd like to do, if nobody would mind, is actually give a little song or prayer for peace. I think that's always befitting in everything that's going on in this world these days. And so I think that's what I really like to do. It's a prayer for peace. It's let's see, what is it called? Let's see, a prayer for peace. I'm looking for a prayer for peace. Anybody see it? I don't know. I don't know where my prayer for peace is. I know I have it somewhere. Okay, here we go. Prayer for peace.
Take that step and accept that incredible peace that God has for you. Because He says peace, wonderful peace, coming down from the Father.
All right, good evening. I'm going to turn that off. Good evening, and how are you tonight?
Good. How are you tonight?
From the 303 area code, I assume it's Ann.
we missed your Buddhist chant.
Well, we never did the chant,
Oh, okay.
so it doesn't matter. I should have downloaded. I had to have downloaded before and put it into the program, into the mixer. I didn't have a chant in the mixer, so I couldn't do it.
Oh. Okay.
But how you doing tonight?
That. Good. How are you?
Okay. So, have you been listening to the show at all?
Yeah, we actually just started. Well, I just started listening to a few minutes ago.
Well, tonight we will talk.
Is it on record?
Yeah, we've basically been talking about Buddhists. And
now you have the music on. I hear the music.
Yeah, well, I'm going to turn that off because I don't even know what's playing.
Huh?
I'm trying to figure out what's playing.
What'd you say?
I'm trying to figure out what's playing. What does it sound like?
So it's... Oh, see, so there's like a delay.
Yeah, there is. Oh, yeah, on the show, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're running it also? Oh, you had it on also at the same time. Yeah, you can't be there and listen to the show. Just like on TV, all these shows, there's like a 5 or 7 second delay.
Okay.
That's why whenever you hear people call on a radio show, they say, "Turn off your radio."
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Yep.
Okay, how are you doing? And if I remember right, your husband's name is Charlie.
Yep, that's Charlie.
Is he with you tonight?
He's right here, but he doesn't. Of course, but he doesn't want to talk.
He doesn't talk.
No, he believe it or not, he's shy about talking on the radio on the radio.
Okay. Well, listen, I am going to add in another caller if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And good evening. You're on live with the Rebellious Reverend the Doc. And who's calling?
Namaste. This is Patel.
Patrick, and how are you tonight?
Fine, thank you very much. I mean, as a Buddhist, when when you confront, say, Muslims, that they come for you to make you forced to become Muslim, and what's your duty as a Buddhist? Do you have to resist and fight, or do you have to say, no, cut my head off? Can you please give us some
again, I'm not
enlightenment?
Yeah, I'm not a Buddhist, as I was explaining at the beginning of the show. What we're trying to do is get some information from different people about Buddhism. And I believe Buddhism is non-violent, so that's a tough one. I mean, that's happening right now.
Yes.
It?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening.
In
happening
Iraq,
right
for example,
in Iraq and Syria.
After 200,000 Christians.
Yeah, it's true. And where are you calling from?
I am in Bombay, in India.
You're in India. And are you a Buddhist or Christian?
Bombay, India.
Are you a Christian or a...
I'm Hindu.
You're
Hindu.
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 So Hindu was and Buddha was a Hindu, was he not?
No, he was different from the Bhagwan. We believe in Bhagwan, and Buddhists they believe in Buddha.
Buddha,
So
but I
it's a
believe,
different Bhagwan.
but I believe Buddha was born a Hindu, was he not?
Some people may say it. Some people may. I mean, well, if he born in India, well, he might have a root of Hindustani or Indianism in it. Yes,
Yeah.
it may be true. Yes.
Yeah. Now, in the Hindu religion, what would the question you posed on me? I'm going to pose back on you. What do you do if something like that happens, where people attack you and want to kill you, chop your heads off, as happening in right now in Kuwait?
In Iraq, and Syria.
What's that?
Yes, he
Right.
said in Iraq and Syria. I
Yeah,
said
in Iraq
yes.
and Syria, correct? Yes.
Iraq, yeah. Because you said COVID. There's nothing wrong in
No,
COVID right
you're
now.
right. I
Yes.
apologize.
But, yes, I understand your question. I give you an answer. I can. I mean, first of all, we have 99% Hinduism. Yes, we have many different sects in India, and for your listeners. And, but majority are Hindu. So I don't think, if it comes to a point, what we are going to do, we are going to take care of the infidels. And we are if they call us infidel, we call them infidels too.
Yeah.
So we will fight and
will
take care
protect
of
you.
them before
You
they
will
take care of
protect-
us.
You will protect yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have right defense. Although we are pacifist
course.
too, but in Bhagwan, in Bhagavad Gita, is we have we have right to self-defense.
Yeah, well, I believe you should. But as far as Buddhism, I don't know what the answer is. Do you, Mark?
Well, no, he was talking about the terrorists.
No, he said, what would you do as a Buddhist? Would you fight back? What would you do? And I said, I really don't know what a Buddhist would do.
Well, I don't think a Buddhist would allow himself to be slaughtered for no reason at all.
I mean, non-violence is only
We
to
saw
a
that
point.
happen already. The Buddhists slaughtered in China, in many parts of China, and Tibet, you see.
Yeah.
And so I think they are not going to do any self-defense.
Well, that's a shame. That's taking the belief or religion too far. Because
Right.
if they kill off all the Buddhists, then there will not be any Buddhism left.
Unless they believe they're dying for a principle.
And you're listening to us.
Exactly. You are right. Because, but it's not fair too. I think they should have at one point, they should have be able to kind of, regardless of what the Buddhism is about, they should be able to self-defense and to somehow at least, defend yourself before your head is cut off. And that's what I mean.
Exactly. And there are a lot of people getting their heads cut off right now.
I mean, but really, when you think about it, the terrorists are just cutting their heads off because they're Christian and the terrorists are Muslim. And
But
it's
they're-
not
they're-
even, you don't believe in what I believe in. You could be a Muslim, but you don't believe in what I believe in. So
No,
I'm cutting
I'm
your
sure-
head off.
I'm sure they're also cutting other Muslims' heads off.
That's what I said.
Yeah. And the other thing is they're crucifying children. They're chopping off their heads and crucifying them. Little kids.
Yeah, in Syria it happens that 8 people, they told them they were Christians, and they were told them that become, ICIS or the same as them is Sunni, is a one sect of the Islam, is Sunniism. And so finally they said, no, we will not revert by no means. And then they put them into the cross. And we have the information here too. Our heart goes with our brothers and sisters all over the world, because we are Hindu, we are Buddhist. We believe that no one has the right to impose by force their views, or whether it's political or religious, to any other people.
You're 100% right.
I think
I couldn't have said it any better.
But
we all believe in
I
that
think
now.
here's the thing: the terrorists as a whole, that they're using the religious as their or the religion as their excuse. Unfortunately, that's not really the purpose. I mean, they will kill each other as well. So they're on a rampage to basically annihilate humanity as a whole, and it really has little to do with a faith, whether it's a Muslim faith or a Hindu faith. It doesn't matter. That's not really their cause.
Right.
I think
you have to believe what they believe.
Yeah.
That's what they want. You have to believe what they believe. And if you don't, they're going to annihilate you.
But what they believe, I mean, even they will kill their own people, even people that believe what they believe, just because. And that's, it goes so far deep into the psychology and the brainwashing of what they go through that, there's just, it's...
Do you know in Islam? Go ahead, and then I will talk about Islam.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you can recognize them better. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say that a very interesting point. If you, not to bring up Hollywood, but if you saw The Godfather 2, Michael Corleone is in Havana, and he witnesses an act by one of the rebels. And what the rebel did was he blew himself up because of his cause. And when you think of ISIS and ISIL, they do the same thing. They believe so fervently in their cause that they will die to get, to spread their word. And what Michael Corleone said was, it tells him that the rebels can win. And when you get a group of people, 15, 20,000 people who believe like this, who are willing to sacrifice their lives for a belief, it's very possible, I hate to say it, that they can win, because death does not scare them. They don't value life the way we do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right with you. I agree with what your statement is, because they're like, it seems, each one of them are like a warrior. They get their sword and they cut like 10 people in 1 minute. So 1 against 10. You see what I'm saying? They say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and then they think they get more power, but they don't. But I mean, in a way, and then they kill people with the name of their gods, which totally is brainwashed them.
That's
is
right.
Wrong.
And you know what else? What else is frightening?
Go ahead.
Is Patrick?
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, what else is frightening is that on the news today, they said that ISIS has dozens of American converts, people who are not Now, they're not sure how many of these Americans were Muslim at birth, okay? But they have Muslims who have come over to their side of thinking, being that violent. Not to mention Europeans, so it's not just Sunni or Shia. It's Americans and Europeans who have converted to this belief that they are espousing. And it's frightening when you think about it.
But here's the thing. My understanding of Islam, and tell me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of Islam, in its sense, is that the killing of innocent people is completely forbidden. So
No, it's not forbidden. It is halal. Halal means is not forbidden. Means you will go to the paradise with 72 virgins. Go ahead, please.
72 virgins.
Yeah, but
I can't even find one virgin.
But in India you can find. So,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
but that's why I'm so confused, because my understanding of the religion of Islam itself is simply that that it has very specific rules surrounding war and places of great value, and it places great value on the sanctity of life, and that the killing of innocent people is not permitted under Muhammad. So I don't understand. That's why I say when people are thinking about Islam, I don't believe that the terrorists are actually, practicing Islam.
Nothing is practicable by Islam. Islam is not a religion. It's a religion of the war.
But that's jihad. That's the jihad part of it.
No, that's jihad.
No.
Islam is a religion, and I've heard imams say that Islam preaches peace. However, when you listen to the jihadist will
Right.
say that it says in the Quran to kill the infidel. Well, according to the terrorist or the jihadist, anybody who doesn't believe in Allah is an infidel. So they're going to kill us.
Right.
I'm infidel too. I'm infidel. You are infidel, and the Shiite is infidel, and the other guy is infidel. We are all infidels. We are talking to each other. Go ahead, please.
That's the problem. They believe that everyone in the world are infidel if they're not practicing jihad.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's Muhammad, when he was in Medina, he was living give him some space with some of his relatives. Say, go live over there in Judaism, and then later on, when he went to Mecca, and then he saw all these people are living very nice. He was kind of obsessed, and because he was so poor and he could not have anything, so he said, "Well, I am going to show you guys," and and he was hallucinated. Actually, he was hallucinated at that time, and he said, "Well, Allah," he named it Allah. Allah give me all these verses to write, Otherwise, there was no Allah talking to him. It's impossible. The Hindu God, Buddhist God, is much better than his Allah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to show you something. I have a prayer here, a Muslim prayer for peace, and it's real short. It says, "In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, praise be the Lord of the universe who has created us and made us into tribes and nations, that we may know each other, not that we may despise each other. If the enemy incline towards peace, do thou also incline towards peace. And trust God, for the Lord is the one that heareth and knoweth all things. And servants of God, most gracious are those who walk the earth in humility and we address them, we say peace. So that's a Muslim prayer for peace. So I don't know. So these guys are not Muslims.
I mean, what is the definition of peace according to them? Peace means, yes, I am telling you I am making a peace with you, but tomorrow I break the peace. This is what's happening in Hamas and Israel today.
That's exactly what's happening.
It's supposed to be 72 hours. Exactly 3 hours before 72 hours is finished, they start rocketing Israel. Israel has a separate self-right to defense. And this is exactly what happened to Muhammad too. When Muhammad was in Mecca, he, after so many wars, and finally with Quraysh, Quraysh is a tribal Quraysh, etc. So he made a peace with them. And as soon as they said, well, you put your arms down, I'm your brother, and I will not touch you, don't worry about it. As soon as they put their arms down, he went and conquered Mecca. This is the true story of Islam. So call it Adawiyah. That means I say something, I say peace with you, but tomorrow or 3 days from now, I will shoot you rockets back. No problem.
Sounds like the contract I had with you, Felix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a shame because you read the words, they're very beautiful words about peace, but they don't mean much. But there are certain people of the Islam faith who do believe in peace. They're not all violent, obviously. 99.9% are violent, and they want to take over the world. They want to take over my country, India, and that's why we have so many wars in India with them. I mean, they burn trains in India. They burn our Hindu temples and etc. We go back after them, and then they shut up for a while, and then again regroup, and then attack us again.
See, I certainly understand how you feel, because in your country, as with many places in Europe, I mean in France, they are desecrating synagogues, and Jewish people want to leave France because it's not safe for them. They get attacked in the streets and nothing gets done.
Your country is in the same type of plight that Israel is. People want to demolish.
Exactly. Yeah, they want the jihadists that live in India want to do war against you because they want to annihilate Hinduism. Yeah. They want to annihilate
Hinduism, Buddhism too, Hinduism, but anybody else.
Christianity doesn't matter.
Everybody who are not like them. I mean, when you pass through a Muslim, the way they look at you, as you feel, they want to just beat you up right there. But if they could, I mean.
See, in the United States, we believe in the First Amendment. The First Amendment says you have a right to practice your religion, provided you're not talking about the overthrow of the government. So, if the Islamic people in America want to work, pay taxes, practice their religion, as long as they're not talking about jihad, that's okay. But there are some people in this country...
Unfortunately, it's not. Sorry.
What?
It's not. They are going to jihad. They want to take over the White House. They want to put the flag of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.
Well, that's what ISIS said. ISIS said that they want to take down the American flag and put up their own flag over the White House. That they want to kill Americans. All right? But most Americans feel that this is not the feeling of all Muslims. I mean, you still have Americans who feel, the hell with them, get rid of all of them. They're a threat to our safety and our way of life. But if you do something like that, you're like feeding into, how they feel. They want to wage war. Well, you're giving them a good reason to hate you.
Yeah. I wish they would wage more war
Yes,
in Russia.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Please, go ahead.
No, I was just kidding. I said I wish they would wage more war in Russia. Because that's another scary situation.
You see, exactly. You see, in 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini, which was a Hindu, by the way, he was from India, he went and took over Iran. And he said Allah did not create man so that he could have fun. The aim of creation was for mankind to be put to the test through hardship and prayer. An Islamic regime must be serious in every field. There are no jokes in Islam, there is no humor in Islam, and there is no fun in Islam. Go ahead, please.
And you're still there? And? I guess she must
I think
be
we
gone.
lost them, maybe.
I'm here.
You're here?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said.
So please tell me. Go ahead. Please tell us your views.
I just think that we have mankind has interpreted religion, whether it be the Bible, the Quran, whatever it is, has interpreted religion to the point where everyone has created their own belief, and so the point of the true and the original Islam and what it is today are two very different things. And that's what I think that happened in every religion. In Roman Catholicism, Christianity, Judaism, it doesn't matter. The true religions have been so far away from what they were truly intended to be that now what the outcome is exactly what the world is seeing. They're seeing Islam and the Muslims' belief to be something that it was not originally meant to be. And that's my biggest thing with it. And, now you add to that the jihad belief, and it just flips it upside down on its head, and we end up with, and the really sad part of it is that people like the leader of Iran end up being put in positions of power, and they should never, ever be allowed to get there.
Well, I think what God's going to have to do, if you have a sense of humor, God's going to have to find a modern-day Noah, and Noah's going to have to select 2 of every animal, put them in a spaceship, forget about the ark, put them in a spaceship, have them blast off and circle the earth for a certain number of years, have the earth destroyed by a nuclear holocaust, and then the modern-day Noah is going to land with the survivors and start all over again. Because that's the way the world is going. Well, eventually, if it continues the way it's going, we're going to eventually wind up destroying each other.
And what makes you think when we try again, it's not the same thing's not going to happen again?
Well, but it'll happen in another billion years. Or, excuse me, according to Sarah Palin, 6,000 years. By the way, did you hear her latest quip?
What?
Sarah Palin said that she feels so sorry for the people of Ebola because of the disease. The people of Ebola? Ebola's the disease.
Yeah.
What?
She just
Another way
That's all.
these Muslims, they infect themselves with Ebola, and then they go to other countries, and then they give it, pass it through to other people. They say they use it as a weapon of mass destruction. What's your opinion on that, please?
I wouldn't put it past them. It's another way of carrying a bomb.
Well, you know what?
And blowing yourself up.
They discovered a new way of carrying a bomb. You can take a volunteer and you can implant a bomb inside their body, okay, and have it activated by a cell phone. So when they press a button, they're blowing themselves up, but the bomb is inside their body. does the same damage, but you can't find the bomb if you were to scan them. It's frightening.
Absolutely. I'm agree with you. Yes. Are you from UK or Europe? You have a beautiful accent.
Oh, no, I'm from beautiful downtown Brooklyn.
But Dr.
Oh, I see.
Dr. Mark was
fine.
a teacher
We are
for
all
many
one
years.
people. We are, according to Buddha, so
I've never
Hindus
heard
and
Brooklyn called
we
beautiful
are
before.
one people.
That's right. That's right.
He's been a teacher all his life, so he expressed himself very well, and he's a master of the English language.
I try harder.
Yes, yes.
Was that a line of bull, Ann, or what?
And my wife still laughs at me, so what can I tell you?
And what kind of work do you do, Patrick?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, please. Patrick? Brother Patrick?
A kick.
Brother Patrick?
A kick.
What? A what? I'm sorry, didn't
Go
understand
ahead,
what
go
you
ahead.
said.
Go ahead.
Listen, what do you
Go
do?
ahead,
I'm
please.
sorry. What kind of work are you involved in?
Wait, are you talking to me?
Yes,
No,
I am.
we are talking to Patrick in USA. Go ahead,
No, I'm
please,
talking
USA.
to you. I'm sorry.
USA,
What's your
go
name
ahead.
again? What is your name? I'm sorry.
My name? Patel.
Yes.
Patel. What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
Oh, okay. I'm working in the call center for you guys, United States. When you call your bank, it comes to us.
Oh, you're
So
in a call
we take care
center.
of you.
Okay. I got
Yes,
you.
yes.
Yes.
But we have to go through a lot of hell to get the job, but it's worth it.
It's worth it, right? Yeah, it's tough.
Although you may not like us, but we try to give you the same service as you get in USA, but sometimes difficult because of through the connections you guys have and big connections through our India, and is sometimes you guys are frustrated, but please, we try to give you the same service as you get in America.
It's called outsourcing.
No, I think sometimes people get frustrated because they have debt and they owe money, and instead of owning up to the fact that they have debt and they owe money, they portray their anger on the person on the other side of the phone. That's why they get frustrated. It's not because you're calling them or you're doing business with them. It's because they owe you money. That's why.
Yeah, I know. Majority of calls is like they have written check or they use their card for $1 and they know they don't have $1 in their accounts, and then what will happen? Or they charge $1, yeah, we authorize it, but then we charge you $28, $35, depends which bank it is, and then they get mad. They say, well, I had $1 in my account. No, you did not. If you had calculated your account correctly every day, you know how much money you should have to the last penny, because every penny in the bank costs, for you. And then we try sometimes give it to them, and then they come back again next month, same thing. I mean, we cannot do all the time.
Yep.
No, I understand.
That's exactly what the problem is. The problem is they know they owe the money, and instead of owning up to their own problems, they take it out on whoever's on the other end of the phone. When I was in college, I used to do collection calls, so
Yes.
I know what you deal with.
Yeah, I understand you very much. Please give your names all over again, because Patel, I am Patel, and what's your name? And what's my friend in USA? And where are you calling? Please give us all your names. I know your names, please.
Patel.
No, my name is Felix,
And my name is Mark.
and the other caller
Felix and Mark.
and she's Ann.
Okay. Thank you
We
very
are in
much.
New York.
Nice to meet you all. Go ahead.
Yeah, same here.
It was nice speaking with you.
And if you want to call
Always,
next
yeah,
week,
and
if you are up
Go
and
ahead.
calling again, we're on
Every Monday and every Friday.
9 o'clock
Monday and Friday.
Eastern time.
But we have to go back to Buddhism. Buddhism is a non-ascetic religion that encompasses a variety of traditions and beliefs and practices largely based on teachings attributed to Siddhartha Gautama, who is
So,
commonly
Patim,
known as Buddha.
Let me ask
and the
you.
Buddhists, go ahead.
Do you believe Buddhism is a religion, or do you believe it's a philosophy, a way of life?
No, Buddhism is, we believe on other religions in India, matter of fact, but accept Islam is, everybody knows what Islam, true nature of Islam is. Forget about Islam, all other religions are welcome in India. We love all of you guys, and we have no problem with Buddhism, Baha'ism, or any of Christians or Jewish or Christians, whatever you're welcome to India. We believe you. We are not prejudiced people in India. Hindustani, Admi, they are very first, we are like democracy, but at the same time when they come and fire our trains, on response, that's the only way they understand. Otherwise, we have nothing to do. I go do my business, I come home.
Listen, we're all human
And we
beings.
go to the yeah.
We're all human beings,
Go ahead,
and
listen.
we're all equal. Unfortunately, certain people in the Islam religion don't believe that.
But 99% of Muslims, they want to conquer the world. 1% they're good. 1% of the 2 billion is how much? You calculate it. But in India, 1.3 billion India, Hindustani, and 99.9% we love you, everybody. So you tell me the difference.
No, we understand. You've got a tough neighbor there, Pakistan also. For you guys.
Yes, Kashmir too. Kashmir.
Kashmir, yeah. It's tough, I'll tell you.
Everybody wants to harm us. Harm us is the same. Same situation in Israel. We are surrounded by a bunch of people and has a nuke on us. They push. Our Bombay will be evaporated. Our New Delhi will be evaporated. And our big cities will be evaporated. We didn't blink an eye, but we have also point out our missiles at them. Before they push, we can push it, and we will annihilate everywhere, all Pakistan, anywhere they want to make a war with us. They should know that they cannot get rid of India, Hindustan, they cannot get rid of Israel, they cannot get rid of USA, Europe, and whole the world. They should know that they will be, themselves are going to be taken out.
Yeah, it's true. Well, we're running out of time right now, so we're going to have to say good night to you. I really appreciate you calling.
Namaste, Mark.
Namaste,
everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you, brothers.
And call back anytime. Thank you. Good night. Ann, you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah. I think that's the first.
So you've gone global.
We've gone global. That's the first call we've ever had from India.
He might be calling from the corner phone booth for all you know.
Nah, I'm sure he's calling from India.
Why? This is New York. Everybody lives in New York.
What's really amazing about it is that, I'm in international trade, right? I've been in international trade my whole life, and the world has gone global without a doubt. And if we can all just figure out how we continue to do business every day with each other, and stop with the nonsense fighting, and really pull together to eliminate the terrorism, we could have a good place to live. But it's amazing.
And I used to tell my students, if you take 10 families, husband and wife. Now, I taught in the inner city, so the majority of my students were all African American. I had some Hispanic, I had some Asian, and very small percentage were white. But if you take a diverse 10 couples and put them in a room, all of similar backgrounds, they all want the same thing. Okay?
Right.
They all want the same thing for their families. They all want the same thing for their children. Okay?
Yep.
So if we can have a dialogue like that, why can't we sit down and forget the politics and just talk about what's right for the world? And I think, in essence, that's the message of Buddhism. Forget about personal gain. Okay? Start thinking about what will bring you happiness. And I think most people will say it's learning to live in a world without prejudice, hate, war. When you can wake up in the morning and not worry that this may be the last day, your last day on earth. Okay? That some idiot is not going to press a button somewhere and we're all going to be annihilated.
Yeah.
Yep.
They say that
it goes back to our last conversation, in that how is it that these people, the ones who are willing to press that button, continue to end up in the positions of power? How is it that it keeps happening? Is that the politics, or is that just society as a whole not looking out for the better good?
Well, I once asked
or for the greater good.
I once asked somebody about that, and they said the reason that could never happen is because politics enters into the question. If you were to take Israelis and Palestinians, okay, Israelis and Muslims, sit them down in a room in the Middle East, they all want the same thing for their families. You have to give a little to get a little. Unfortunately, when you talk about ISIS and ISIL, they don't want to give up anything. It's their way or the highway,
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, they're a vast minority. When you think about the millions and billions of people across the country, I mean, you had it during the Cold War between America and Russia. The differences were not within the people. The differences depended upon what uniform you were wearing. Which culture you were, which political, that you were espousing, what politics. If you go back to the beginning of the Russian Revolution, Marx and Engels, they believed that the inner circle would only hold power for a certain amount of time, and then they would turn power over to the people. Problem is that the people who were in power got used to the idea of being in power, and they didn't want to give up the power that they had. They didn't want to give it up to the proletariat. So, when you think of American government and you think of American politics, as we said the last time, no one is willing to reach across the aisle and say, listen, politics be damned here. What's right for the good of the American people? Is it right that people should go without jobs? Is it right that the infrastructure should be crumbling? Is it right that we can't have medical coverage for every person in our country? These are things we have to work on. And no one is willing to put the politics aside because they're saying, well, if we do this, I want to add an addendum at the end of this. And what does that do? It benefits a certain small minority of people. So somebody else says, well, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to do this. And then it becomes a never-ending cycle.
As you could probably tell, Mark is an extremely ultra-conservative.
Well, I mean, and it's even like, I know you guys got to go, but, just this week they announced that the Reynolds Company has a medical or a lab division that's identified the fact that the use of the oils from the tobacco flower can be used to not only treat and cure Ebola, but also to treat and cure cancer. And so it's like, okay, why is this coming out now when they've known about it for 10 years? Well, it came out now because the two doctors got sick and the cat, they let the cat out of the bag. So it's amazing.
Didn't hear that, but that is amazing.
Because it'll only come out when industry can benefit financially from something. If they can charge you for it, they'll do it.
Exactly.
That's why.
Yep. So, before, to treat HIV and all the other diseases, they were paying $10,000 for each pill or, $10,000 for treatment. And now that there's these medicines out there and the fact that everybody's fighting the tobacco industry and nobody wants people to smoke anymore, well, let's find another use for that plant so that we'll continue to earn money. That's exactly what it is. It's amazing.
That's right. Hey, listen, it all boils down to big pharma and big industry.
Yep.
Yeah. They should give the research back to the government, let them do all the health research.
There's a Jewish word called shanda. It means it's a sin. Well, what they're doing to the American people, it's a sin. They're raping the American people and they're raping the people of the world because they want to put a price on life. That's what they want to do. If you could afford to pay for this, then you deserve to live. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
My wife has cancer, and her medication, if we were paying for it, is $10,000 a month. And the co-payment is $2,000 a month, which I can't afford. So luckily, somebody gave us a grant so she could take the medication.
And one of my good friends was just diagnosed with leukemia, and his drugs are very expensive. God forbid it should happen to me. Okay, I would just sit back and say, well, let me die. Because I'm not going to bankrupt my family on the chance that I could prolong my life for a few months if the outcome is going to be the same thing anyway.
Yep.
Besides, I have enough insurance so that my wife will be left very happy.
Anyway. All right, Ann. Thank you for calling. Say hello to Charlie.
All right, gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
I will.
As always. And
have a great weekend.
All right, great. Thank you for calling. It's really great to hear from you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's it, folks.
That was Ann from Colorado. And before we break it off, I just want to do a prayer for health. As some of you know, my wife...
why don't you think your prayers for health?
My wife has cancer, and things are getting a little tough for her, so just give her a prayer. O Father of mercies and God of all comfort, our only help in time of need, we lift our hearts unto Thee on behalf of this Thy servant. Look graciously upon her, we beseech Thee, and strengthen her with Thy grace. We know, O Lord, that all things are possible with Thee. In keeping with Thy will, restore her to health and strength, and Thy name shall be praised forever. Amen. Okay, with that, we're going to go sign off now. We've been on for just about 2 hours,
Yeah.
minus 2 minutes.
2 minutes shy of 2 hours.
And I think
2.5 minutes.
we could have gone on, but this is our...
I don't want to. We don't want to take any chances. More than once, they've cut us off.
Oh, no, we have only 2 hours. That's a dead. That's it. That's all we can do. Anyway, so we're going to go off with a song. There's no 2-minute song, so forget about songs.
Nah, no songs. We'll just say have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Thank you for listening.
We certainly left you with enough to think about.
And we'll hopefully listen.
We hope to see you Monday when we come back as
the Coffee Club.
Coffee Club.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Rev. Next to me is the Doc. And good night.